The first thing we always think about, either you use the graphite pencil to start, or you are going to use the watercolor directly drawing, or use the watercolor pencil. And for me over here, I'm gonna put his face right over here, and right over here. I'm gonna put it right over here, and just the light color, and maybe I'm gonna move her a little bit more toward the left-hand side, because I don't see much necessary. They have so much space on this side unless something is very interesting to look at. So now, just quickly getting that composition. If you're feeling you need more time for the proportion, and take more time, and probably there will be a good reason to use the graphite pencil to study, or you would rather to directly do a drawing study on a drawing paper first, and look at the chin over here coming down directly in this angle, and that is the direction for the shoulder over here. I may not really include this hand or this arm like curve up, so I'm gonna just have it coming down like this, and that will be fine. There's a very minor change. Now coming over here, you can change the color if you want. That is pretty easy. Now I can erase that by just use the water, especially when it's still wet. It's pretty easy to do that.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the flash off. I didn't mean to blind you.
No, you did not blind me. Okay, now I'm going to. Now my focus in here for this short lesson is about how to see the dark and light, the light and the shadow, and how dark they're supposed to be, and how much a contrast you want to include. So before I go to do that, I'm going to do a little mental exercise about the proportion. And the eye looks like a little bit lower than the middle from the top to the bottom. So it will be, looks like in this location. But you're going to see this going to be erased, or it's just going to blur out in a few minutes. So this would be the one eye, another eye, and then the area. When you're looking for the eyebrows, it actually no eyebrows, just the little shadow side. And then the nose is right almost like halfway down from the eyebrows area, which is over here, and coming to the nose over here, halfway down to the chin. And the mouth is over here, like that. And I'm not looking for the mouth, I'm looking at the shadow actually under the mouth. That is create the ideas of how that turning. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is first I'm probably going to have the little skin color on the light side. I'm not going to use lots of water. I'm not pre-wet the paper so that it will dry much faster. So mostly that color, you don't have to get too complicated. It actually just the water and the red color on the light side. So I can just, and don't get too much formula in your head, okay? Because when you look at the reference or the subject that you're going to try to paint, it may not have the color that someone else used. So you need to looking at the simple version of comparing and observing, comparing, observing. Now I get you can actually get this color all over the place if you want, and include inside the eye, like this. And because the eye actually it will be darker, the area in the shadow side. One of the things I want to talk about, that is the lightest color. You want to keep it if you want. Like say in the top of the nose, over here, I'm gonna make a little softer over here now. Now the light area, I want to keep it there. So I don't have to use too much time of taking it out and so on. Now I have this, now here you go. Now the shadow area, right over here, the shadow area, I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. How dark is supposed to be? That's very critical, because You want to make sure their face rounded the way that that person it would be. Not everyone rounded like that. So if you want to make the best, capturing the best, almost unique feature of someone's likeness, the first thing would be how the face rounded. Let's take a look at this. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mix a little darker color. All the color I mix from the three primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. So it almost like all the colors, it always include that all three colors, but it's different amount between the three colors. If you have a little bit more blue and red, the color will be darker, with also more toward the purplish color. But because of the blue color that I use have a little green tone, so the purple color won't be bright. Instead, it look a little bit more toward the brown color. Okay, let's take a look at the shadow color. I already have the blue over here. You can see the blue color mixture. I'm gonna get a little red, and this color a little bit closer to the shadow color already. But I want to have a little yellow because I do want to have a little bit look a little bit more like a brownish color. So I'm gonna, that is the color. The formula is very easy over here. Now what I want to do here, I'm gonna come over here. This is the whole eye is actually in the shadow. This eye in the shadow. And the forehead in the shadow. But when you get up a little bit over here, you need to, if you can, squint your eye so you can see the difference. But important down over here is need to look rounded. Just imagine it's a ball. It's a ball, the ball shape or the egg shape. You're actually going to round it like this. There is shadow on this side. And leave the light side over here except to catch the shadow from the hair that cover the whole forehead. Now what I want to do here, I'm going to take this color. There's too much red. I got a little yellow in here. So it's very easy to analyze it. You don't want to think about orange color or other colors. You just think about, okay, what's that color? How much red, how much yellow? Okay, now I'm going to do it here. It looks like almost the color I want. I'm just going to put it over here first. And on the side over here, the color on the cheek, I would do that later. I add to it a little bit later. So now it looks like a mess. Yes. But that's what we want. We want to have some struggle. Now, the color coming down because I have the paper tilted like 8 degree or 10 degree. So what I want now, I'm going to have my picker brush. Where the other? Oh, thank you. Now what I want to do now,
nice
I'm going
to.
Yeah, the best assistant.
I got a medal for that, right?
Don't let it go to your head.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for making me bend back.
Now let's see. Now we're gonna, I want you to see a clear two different sides. Light side, shadow side. Now what I want, I'm going to enforce the light side. Watch. I'm just going to lift up the color over here. And the nose, lift up the color, just use the corner of my brush. Like that. And then above the mouth over here, a little bit lighter. Now on the side over here, a little bit lighter. But the overall shape, you have it thinking about like a ball shape. Okay, on the nose over here, I can have this color over actually. And now also on the other side, I can see a little light over here. You can see the light shape right over there. At this point, it's probably easier if you have the habit, just focus on the light and shadow.
So is it best to do that while the paint's wet?
Yes, just two different shapes, and that's it, right? Except this is you can always lift up the color over here. And then the shadow under the nose, I will add that later. But I want to focus on the biggest area. So under the chin over here also, this area also taking a little light. And here you go. Now a little bit light over here because that actually also facing a little bit to the top. You can just lift up the color. You see, it's no longer that messy. And take up the color right over here. So all you're looking for is light and shadow. And even now, the shadow side may not dark enough. So especially after it dries, it would be, we need to do another time to enforce it before you're having the big form created. Never go into the small detail because the time they're spending in the small details, you take away from focusing on the bigger connections. And you probably miss the timing. Okay, just focus on that. No worry about, oh, when I'm going to do the eye, when I'm going to do the nostril. We have time, right? Now, I'm going to let it dry a little bit. Maybe over here, lift up a little color on this side. So when your eye looking at, you might be thinking about how I'm going to look at all this. Because when I look at the reference, there's lots of things going on. So that is the trick. You have to learn how to ignoring things. I'm sure you put it good at it at home. You know, that phone call, I talk to you later.
That laundry.
Right? Okay, I talk to you when I have dinner. You put it down. You put it good with that. And it's like, oh, it's Yong? Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. You kind of like, you can splash things onto to the side and focus on the thing. I have to do this. I'm cooking. Okay, let me finish cooking first before I set the table. You know the timing. You use the same skill in life and put it into the painting. And, right? You guys pretty good with that. Now, I'm going to let this dry before I come back. So in this case, I'm going to spend this time and going to other places to also create a balance. For example, I'm going to add a little bit red color over here, maybe too much red. So add a little yellow in here. It's mostly, that's the color. I'm going to put it on the arm. Here you go. Put it like this. And what I'm talking about ignoring that is you pay attention to the things and ignore other information that you don't want to do it right at this moment. Like the inside eye, you have to hold on that, you know. I'm not going to see it. Just don't see it. Ignore it. Can you do it? Yeah, you can ignore it. You ignore lots of things in life. Okay, now what I'm going to do now, I just put a little color over here. This is fine. On the other side, probably a little bit darker. I'm going to put this color over here. That's fine, like that. So I like this already. Mm-hmm. So what I want to do now, I'm going to put some color in the background. After taking care of the bigger composition with color and value, and this is going to be ready for you. Right now, probably ready for you, but I'm not ready to come back to that yet because the biggest part of the painting is the big composition. I want you to have a big message over there and then come back to organize. You're feeling kind of, oh my God, I accomplished something. Right? Okay, now I'm going to have some suggestions of some greenish thing, but how bright the green would be. This is probably a little bit too bright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little red color from the side over here. Now there's a little bit less bright. Now, coming over here. Now, with the dark color around the hair, and you're probably thinking about, oh, how will we be able to see the hair? I don't even have pencil over there. If you ignore other things, just thinking about this shape and this shape, you should be able to see it. I would say everybody can see it. It's just confidence. If you do it a couple of times, you have the confidence. Confidence, mostly, it comes from your self-suggestion, confirmations. When you are doing it a few times, and you will see it. Those are actually very, very easy thing. And coming over here, and have the hair coming like this. That's fine. So that's good. I'm gonna making sure have enough dark color over here. This is fine. I'm just throw a little yellow color down over here and have a little bit kind of blending. Is not like taking too much attention over there. So on the top over here, I'm gonna have a little bit deeper colors and showing. I'm gonna have a little bit like a purplish color. I'm gonna throw over here and just create a little variety of suggestions like that. That's probably fine. You can think about whatever there. And if you want to go a little bit more wilder, and you can throw a little water over there, let it have more suggestions. Okay.
I like that.
And then I come to this side, I'm gonna have a little red color over here. Here you go. Give a little red color, but that red color probably too strong. So I'm gonna come back here and think about the shape. Just think about the shape of the hair. Okay. Just simple. And you can leave a little white, but too much white or too much contrast, it may be fighting with the face. That is simple, like that. And you need to control what you see. It takes time for you to have that kind of mindset. Really? Okay. Now I'm gonna put a little blue color over here. I think I like the blue color over here. I put over here like that. That's fine. And maybe just have a little water like this. And that's it. I'm not going to do too much to the background. The background is supposed to be only supporting the main object. Now after this, now I come back to the face. Do you feel a little bit better with the outside? Without the outside, create a contrast, and the main object would not be able to stand out. Those are very important, that you are not just making the suggestions of a person looks good, but also the people look at it, even though they don't know this person, they still feel like, oh, it's very soothing, very comfortable to look at the artwork. Now I come back over here and come back to this brush. Now I'm looking at the shadow side. What do you feel? I feel the shadow side need to be darker. I'm going to just take this color, maybe a little bit yellow in here. So most of the time, I'm not worried about that has some color in over here, because over here, the color I'm getting, it's going to include all three colors. But you're analyzing the color by knowing how much the red, how much the yellow, and how much the blue. And so have some blue color over here. This is fine. I'm going to get a little yellow. I think I get a little red. So because I want to have a little bit more brown color like this. But this is a little bit too much red. I need a little blue in here. That's good. Here has a little bit more blue. So you already know it. Let's get a little bit more blue here. But there's no brown color, because if you try to name all the colors, you're going to fail. How are you going to name all the color over here? There's no such name for every color. You just say, the simple way is, oh, yes, of course, they all have three colors. But the thing is, have a little bit more blue, a little bit more yellow from here, from the color that you're going to use. Okay, now I'm going to come in over here. I'm going to take a look at. Now this is what I'm talking about. You make sure the dark color and the light color have enough contrast. Now I'm going to make this even darker, because they actually look deeper. Now coming over here. Are you okay? Are you too excited? Oh, yeah. Okay, and the top over here, I'm going to have a little bit brighter brown color. In that case, you need a little bit more yellow and red. So from this color, I'm going to take a little yellow, a little red, that is almost like, let's have a little bit more this yellow color. And then I invite a little blue color in here. So this is the color I'm looking for. Now I'm going to come to the forehead over here. This color would be, now it mixed too quickly. So this is the color I'm looking for. And it's okay. I would put the color back on later. So what I'm trying to get is the contrast between the light and the shadow. Now do you see this deeper already? And you're going to keep playing with that balance.
But what about the whites of the eyes? You didn't leave white. You're gonna
When you
are
squint
gonna
your
pull it
eye,
out?
when you squint your eyes looking at the reference, you don't see the light.
No.
Do you see it? You squint. You open your eye, you can see all the things in the shadow.
Okay.
But when you squint your eye, is that really matter? Because you just see the difference. But if you really need to take out the light, when you squint the eyes, actually between the light, inside the eye white, it's not that pop. You don't want to leave it white.
No.
It's very easy to leave a little color later and add a little blue color into it. But you need making sure that the whole eye is part of the shadow side. And it actually blends in within the shadow as one shape. And otherwise, the eye is going to pop. And you don't want the eye pop out.
It'll look like a zombie. So the shadow of the whole eye has a deeper density value than the cheeks. So the eye, the white of the eye has got to be darker than there.
Yeah, basically what I'll try to say is, I don't want you to think too complicated. And that erases the fun that you're going to have. I don't want you to think too complicated. When you think about shadow and light, that's all I want you to think about. Shadow and light. I don't want you to think about the eye. If the eye in the light is part of the light. If the eyes are part of the shadow, it's a shadow. So later, when you are create more small separation within the shadow, and then I look into the eye. Right? Does that make sense?
And then you pick a little bit out.
There's a plenty of technique that you can make the eye. Depends on how much you want to do the eye, to be a little bit more clear. Including some people use white. That's unlimited when you use white. Right? Okay, let's continue with this. And over here, I'm going to have this a little bit softer, coming down like this. You see, knowing what you are trying to get. Over here, I'm talking about the edges now. Now, a little bit soft edge. A little bit soft edge over here. A little bit soft edge over here. Now, this is good. Now, I want you to keep thinking about where's the light, where's the shadow. Now, underneath over here, I still need a little bit darker color, but it should be this kind of color. Okay, here we go. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little bit darker color on the chin over here. Here we go. Now, think about, oh, wow, the mouth. Okay, wait a minute. You get distracted already. So think about the mouth. All I want you to think about at this step, light and shadow. Light and shadow. If anything distract you, oh, a little bubble on the face. Oh, that's just, you don't even want to look at it. Or maybe ever going to include it in the painting. So now I'm going to coming up over here. I'm going to add a little red and add a little color to the cheek. Now just add a little red color. Now over here, so I still think about this is actually the part of the. Now I'm going a little bit smaller details, like over here. I'm gonna put a little red color here. Just if you want to add a little red over here, right over here. But the whole impressions about how the face round still is the priority. Now I'm gonna have this turning down like this, a little rounded. Okay, now coming on this side, I'm gonna give a little bit more. And on here, I have a little light color, not that dark. And so coming around like this. Just a little smaller area. Okay, now here we go. Coming down like this. And now the neck can be also darker, but in the neck has a little bit more blue color. Take a little blue color and add to here. Here you go. Having it like over here. Pay attention, just look at the light and the shadow. That's all you want to look at right now. And you want to, every step, you only try to create the impression, the big impression, not the small details. Now, get a little bit more and more. And now I say, okay, I'm going to leave that dry for a little bit. I'm going to make this edge a little bit softer, okay, like this. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to keep some definitions in the hair and looking at the color. And okay, over here, and the ear on here, the ear part of this shape. So I'm going to make this big shape first, not isolated, the ear. Right over here, and then this color. Now think about the head now. The head is a part of, looks like a ball shape. So you don't want to get distracted by the small shape in the hair. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little color over here because they're a little lower. Here you go. A little bit, but overall, I want the form to coming around like this. And a little bit soft over here. So if you know the step and the priority, and then down here will pop out too much. So I'm going to have a little bit more of the warm brown color. So I'm going to have a little bit this color. This is good. A little bit more yellow and red. So coming in a little bit, cut in a little bit on the face, like right over here. And now I take care of that. This is good. I want that a little bit softer. Now you have the 1-inch flat brush and coming over here. You see that you're still taking care of the big connection, not small. And I know that for most of the people, not get used to think this way. It's just difficult. You figure, I'm not good at it. Everyone can do this. Trust me. Everyone can do this. The only problem is you just can't go with the process I'm describing to you. In that case, just watch more of my portrait videos. Keep reminded every single time. And after a few times, following step by step, you're going to kind of get used to the process. Now what I want to do over here, I'm going to make this softer. So now I use a little bit bigger brush, and I even use this brush. There's a little round shape and synthetic hair, and it can take out color even faster. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to soften this. So that's why in the beginning, you don't need to worry about too much of the detail. You can correct them. You can correct them very easily. Now I'm going to even show you. I'm going to take a little white shape over here. You see how easy? It's there. You see that little light shape, like for the hair? But you do this only after you having enough dark color in the forehead. Otherwise, you're going to work in the color again, and what's the point? You're going to erase that again. I'm going to give a little bit more. I don't have to go with exactly what the reference look like. I'm going to just enough suggestion for the hair. Now, I think from here, you can very much look at, now I can add a couple of things to it, and then the painting is finished. Just watch me, if you don't trust me. Let's put the shape for the nose. But for the nose, I go with the bigger shape. Bigger shape, it is a little warmer. So a little warmer, a little brighter, so I'm going to a little bit more red. Look, where is it? If you ignore other things, just looking for this shape in between this, there's the nose. Right over here. Does that look like a nose to you?
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
Well, I don't really paint the nose. I just paint a little color over there. Right? So I'm going to see there's probably a little bit softer on the edge over here. And that's it. And the top over here, a little bit softer over here, a little bit softer over there. So when you think, okay, I'm going to paint the nose, the only thing you need to do is analyze what's the color, how wide is that shade, how dark is that shade. This is what you can do after you create a form. If you don't have this form, you're putting those things there, it doesn't make sense. Now I'm going to having a little red color, small red color, looking for that color. what color is it? Maybe it looks like this color, but I don't want too much water. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remix a little color. Maybe this is fine. This color, not too much water. I'm going to probably have a little blue, so make it look a little bit darker. No, I will have a little bit more red. So keep talking to yourself, fighting for the color. Now, what the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little color over here. I'm just looking for that color. When you're doing one thing, focus on that one thing. If you're cooking, make the food and then thinking about who is going to eat it. Just make the food first. If you can, send some to Boston. Okay. I just put a little color over here, a little soft over here. This is fine. Other thing, I'm not going to touch it yet. I'm going to go in it. Like the nostril, I don't want to do it now. The nostril, basically 2 dots of darker color. If you do it now, it's kind of blur and blend together. Now I'm going to go into the eye, which is you are looking for. I'm just not going to do it now. What I'm going to do, I think something more important, I'm going to have separate the chin and the neck. I think it's a little bit too early. It's still a little soft. So I'll come back to do that again later.
Now, is that dry? Are you looking for that to be dry and now you're putting the color?
Yeah, I need a little bit more dry because you see how clear the value on the chin and the neck. Okay. It's very clear. Yes. You don't want it to blend together. In that case, the distance won't be able to describe. Okay. Right? Now I guess I have to do the eye. Okay. Now we're coming over here, looking at the eye. I'm gonna, I think, start this color first. Okay. Now looking at where is it? Right over here. It's already dry, and then make a little circle over here, looking at where's the right side.
She's looking at you.
And right over here, and looking on this side. And it may not in the right place, but put it on first. If it's not, you can use the water, erase it, and then start over. And wait until it dry. I'm going to add a little blue color inside the iris. It looks like a little more blue color. But so far, I haven't taken the color out from the eye area. So in fact, this color probably okay. You're too excited, huh? Okay. Now get a little bit more blue color inside over here. So look like her. And looks like over here I can trim down a little bit on this side. So make the eye going a little bit more toward the left-hand side. And here I think it's a little bit too much. I can take it out. And I think this a little bit too wide. And I come back to fix that later. I'm going to let go of the color over here. Now, start from here. I'm going to add a little bit deeper color. And actually, over here, you can see that? That's the smaller shape. Now, this is the way you go. Big shape, and then look into inside the big shape and smaller shape. But you don't want to go into the big shape and add smaller shape until you have the relationship between the big shape, like the light and the shadow side. If the shadows are not dark enough, if you're thinking about, I'm going to do something inside the shadow side, what is going to happen? And you're going to erase it. Because you ended up is going to putting more deeper and deeper color inside of that. So it doesn't make sense. So it's just a habit. It's just a process. Because I have been creating, I have created this process that across all medium. It doesn't matter what you use. Oil, acrylic, gouache, watercolor, or even charcoal. Going the exact same process, it would make you a happier person. You won't feel I'm frustrated. Well, frustrated is a good thing. If you get frustrated, then knowing that, I'm not talented. That is the worst conclusion you're going to get into, right? You guys are all talented. Now, what I'm going to do here And it looks like the color all fuzz around what I was talking about. And actually, I'm going to soften that. Sometimes you use the bigger brush. It's just easy to connect it together. Now, when I'm talking about the nostril is ready for me, so I'm going to just add a little bit darker tone. Look like a very warm. I'm going to add this color, make it a little bit more red. This is good. Right over here, right? Looking for it. Too dark. So, a little bit lighter. And on this side, another shape over here. And remember, this is only suggestion. The suggestion means you are connecting the people's imagination and experience. Or if you put two dots over here in something look like this, it's a nose. Two dots over there, that is nostril. That's what the people are aware of. But think about you do the same thing and show it to an alien. You'll not be able to connect any of the experience. You've never seen anything like this, right? Okay, now this is good. And then coming down over here, now I'm gonna put a little light color on this area and immediately connect with the people's imagination. Oh, that must be the lips. Okay, that is it. That is simple, right? Now it's the time, going to not really the time. So this is also still soft. I'm going to leave it for a little bit. Instead, I'm going to give a little bit deeper colors in the head or the hair. Now you ready? And put a little color over here. Make it a little bit darker. Plenty of things for you to do. I think look like this can come in a little more. And the sideburn coming down here. And outside over here, have a little bit more blue. Here you go. You get more and more sensitive when you are going in this approach. Like that. Here you go. Now, I'm going to throw a little red color in this area. Do you know that people would think about as an ear? But I'm making an ear. I'm not making an ear. I'm not even making a person. It just naturally, I did a little trick, and the people think it's an ear. I don't know how that works. Okay, a little hair coming over here, a little hair coming this way. I just draw a few lines. On the other side, I just throw a little bit red color over here too, and showing, looks like there's a connection of the top part of the ear. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. Enough suggestion. This is good. Now on the other side, while we are waiting for the face to be dry, I'm gonna just throw a little color in here. Like that. A little dark color over here. Coming up like this. Okay. And now I'll come back and I'm going to use the larger brush and take this color, take a little blue, take this color again, and I'm going to separate the neck from the chin. However you want to apply the separation. And down here I have a little bit red, and put a little red in here, a little red coming over here. And that's the beginning. And I can continue coming into to do a little bit more touching into the eye, into other area. This painting is going to get more and more realistic. But the whole point I'm trying to make over here is the priority in the painting process. You don't want to mix it up. You don't want to go into, let me go to the eye, go to the nose, go to the mouth. It's not going to help you unless you having the form of the face established. Yes. Right? Sounds good?